Yeah, great.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So yeah, that's, I don't know if it's good or not, but I built myself this website. So apologies if it's not very nice, but that was the best that I could do. So that's going to be the workshop hub. It's called engqualvalworkshop.com. So engineering qualification validation workshop.com. So here you will find all the information that you need about the workshop and during the workshop. So the workshop will start, and if you're not really registered to the workshop yet, you can click in here and then it will take you to the registration page. And most of you probably already registered. Very simple, just put your email address and your name and then just tick some of the boxes. I'll put myself there. I'm Brazilian, I'm living in Australia. Register. And that's it. It doesn't really take too long. And those two videos probably you guys watched already, just talking about the email. Sometimes they don't come to us. They sometimes go to the junk mailbox, so it's important to check the junk mailbox if you received the confirmation email. And if it did go to the junk mailbox, it's a good idea to save my name and my email address so you don't really miss out the videos. And you can join the WhatsApp group. Most of you probably already in the group. And I will be, during the workshop, I will be sending all the links for the videos in the email, in the WhatsApp group, in the Telegram group, in my Facebook, Instagram. So if you don't really get from one way, you will get from another way. And the workshop is intended to be very interactive. In this page, there is a comments area. The only trick is that you need to log into your Telegram account to be able to make a comment. I tried to use the Facebook comment, but it was crashing a lot, so I decided to do with the Telegram. I like Telegram because it doesn't crash too much, and obviously it's also encrypted. So if you have a comment or if you have a question or suggestion when you watch a video, if you have any comments, if you like, if you didn't like, if you have a specific question about that video, you can then put in the comments in this page. So Sunday, 10 a.m. Brisbane time. All of these times, they are Brisbane time. So if you guys are from Sydney, Melbourne, Philippines, people from Brazil, people from Argentina, Colombia, as you guys indicated in the WhatsApp question, you just need to obviously convert the time. All those times, they are Brisbane time. So Sunday, 6th of March, we'll have a live webinar, and this is going to be like this one in the Telegram group. And in this live webinar, the opening webinar, I will explain a little bit more details, the workshop, and also I'm going to talk about one of the biggest blockages in the validation process. And then Sunday evening, 8:30 p.m. Brisbane time, I'll have my usual weekly live session. In this live session, I invited a guest. She's going to share the live session with me. Her name is Mara Reifman. She's a certified translator by NATI, and she's going to talk about everything you need to know about translation. And then after she finishes, I will then talk about some of the biggest fears during the validation process that most of engineers will face during the validation process. And then on Monday, we'll be releasing the video number 1 and at around 9 a.m. So I will be sending an email around 9 a.m. With the link of the video. The video will be about 25 minutes. I'll talk about the opportunity for life transformation. I will be talking about the different pathways that overseas engineers they have to validate their qualification here in Australia. I will be talking about the 6 steps that if you are going to do the CDR process, what are the 6 steps for the CDR process. And then on Wednesday, 9 a.m. again, I will be sending another email with the link with the video number 2, where I'm going to talk about the top 7 questions about the engineering qualification validation and the top 7 mistakes. That's very interesting because I've seen engineers making so many mistakes. I selected the top 7 mistakes that if you avoid to do, you will be saving a lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of effort as well. And then on Thursday, I'm going to do a live Instagram session. And in this live Instagram, I'll have a very, very special guest, which is Marcia Percival. Some of you probably came because you are already a student of Marcia, and she very kindly shared the link of my workshop in your in her groups, and perhaps you are here because Marcia she shared the link with you guys. So I will have a chat with her. It's going to be a pleasure because she's obviously one of the biggest authorities in Australia to talk about Australia, and I'm very pleased that she's going to be here talking about how can she help people to migrate to Australia. She's got partnerships with migration agencies, etc. And but she helps people to understand what's the best way and how to get a good plan to come to Australia. In her content, she does a lot of the profile reviews, and she kind of lets you know if your profile is good to come to Australia, what you need to do, and so on. So I certainly encourage you guys to follow Marcia Percival in her Instagram profile. And in this live Instagram as well, after we finish the chat with Marcia, I will be answering some questions because during the workshop I received many questions. I already received your questions in the Survey Monkey, the top question, and I will be answering those questions during those live sessions and during the webinars as well. And I'll probably in this live session as well, I will be giving away a 15-minute free consulting services to happen in 2 weeks' time. Today I'm going to give away one of these sessions, so stay tuned, and I'll let you know how you can win these 15 minutes of free consulting and how this free consulting works. In 2 weeks' time, we'll do a few live sessions on Instagram, and during this live session, let's say that let's see here. Let's say that Giovanna, she is the lucky winner of this 15 minutes free consulting, and then not next week, but the week after, in one of the live sessions, either on Tuesday or Thursday, I will then invite her, Giovanna, to participate with me, to share the screen with me in Instagram, and then she can talk about her particular situation, her questions, and then we will discuss live what can she do or answering her questions. And why do I do this live? Why don't I do one-on-one? Because my objective is to reach as many engineers as I can. And her question can be somebody else's question as well. So if I ring her and give her 15 minutes of free consulting, it means that the information is going to be useful just for her. But if we discuss her situation in a live session, it's going to be good for her plus many other people, because many other people could have the same question. If it's not really the same situation, let's say that she explains about an experience that she is not very certain that that experience is a good experience to use in the validation process, but her experience could be similar to somebody else's, or somebody else could have similar situation, and then the response and the discussion that we will have, it will help many other people as well. So that's why I like the group, I like the community, because everybody here, or most everybody here in this group, and you can see we are in this group almost 780 people here. So everybody, almost everybody, they have the same objective, to validate the engineering qualification and become an engineer here in Australia. So that's how the 15 minutes free consulting works. And then on Friday the 11th, I will send a link again via email with the video number 3. And in video number 3, I'll be talking about the CPD. CPD is video number 2, the continuing professional development. Video number 3, I'm going to talk about the career episodes. I'm going to talk about the risks of plagiarism, and also about the summary statement. And very important video. Video number 1 will have about 25 minutes. Video number 2 will have about 35 minutes. And video number 3 will have about 25 minutes. I know it's a lot of time, 25 minutes, 35 minutes, it's a lot of time. Nowadays, we kind of used to the Instagram stories, 15 seconds, or reels, about a minute, sometimes just 30 seconds. We don't really have a lot of patience to watch 5 minutes, 10 minutes, let alone 25 or 35 minutes. But as I am promising to you, in this week of event from Sunday until the other Sunday, I will teach you everything you need to know to start your validation process. And I cannot teach you everything that you need to know in 30 seconds or 5 minutes. So I thought very carefully. I put together a very good content, and solid and dense. So that's why it takes almost 1.5 hours of content, pure content, for you to overcome a lot of the challenges that you will face during the validation process. Nowadays, probably with more information, and not just from myself, but many other people, they share their experience. So it's a little bit easier. But when I did my process, it took me almost 10 months to complete my process. I had to redo many times. And it can be frustrating, because here in Australia, time is money. If you spend 5 hours, 10 hours writing a report, and then in the end that report is not good, you gotta throw in the bin and write another one. Obviously, it's not quite good. Okay, so and then on Sunday, the 13th of March, we will have the closing webinar. In the closing webinar, we review the whole validation process. So it's like a revision since step number 1 until step number 6, and I will review in details every single step. And also, I'm going to explain to you how my online mentoring program works. As you probably saw in my first emails, I have an online mentoring program. You don't need to be part of that. You can validate your engineering qualification without paying anyone. without paying me or without paying any other people. If you follow the migration skills assessment booklet, you will be okay. For some people. For other people, they need a little bit of help. They need a little bit of push, maybe because they don't really have a lot of time. And then obviously my online mentoring program helps to save time, make it quicker, and give you a little bit more certainty that your application is going to be very good, with very good chances to be approved by Engineers Australia. I've got already 19 students that applied, and all of the 19 being approved. And dozens of other students, they are still trying to get English tests and finishing their reports. And then in this website as well, you can see that all videos there, they are locked because obviously the opening webinar hasn't happened yet. But once it happens, I will edit and then I will upload to this page. So you will be able to watch the replay video after the webinar when it is unlocked. And then video number 1, video number 2, and video number 3 as well, they are locked, but once it's activated, it will be unlocked and you can also access to watch the videos here. And the videos, because I believe that most of you are probably from Brazil, the videos number 1, 2, and 3, you will see that once you click in here, you will be able to watch the video either in English or in Portuguese. In the beginning of my project, I was just recording videos in Portuguese. Even my mentoring program was just in Portuguese. But what I noticed was that English still can be one of the blockages and one of the hurdles, barreiras, for you guys. So, and also because my audience started to get a little bit wider. A lot of other engineers, they were asking if I could do in English. So I decided then to do everything in English because one, you can train your listening, even though obviously I'm not a native English speaker. My English is not perfect, it's not good, but listening to some English is better than not listening at all. So if you think that, and I'll probably start speaking a little bit slow, a little bit more slowly. If you think that you're not going to learn because the content is going to be in English, think about it. Because your English is not good, that's why you need to listen more English. Everybody says, oh yeah, you come to Australia, you just hang out with people from your country, etc., etc. You're not going to learn English. In a point, it is correct. If you stick around with native English speakers, obviously your English will improve. But far from home, we have homesick. We probably have better rapport with people from our country, etc. So you need to seek for other alternatives to improve your English. And your report as well, when you're going to write your report to Engineers Australia, it will be in English. It will have to be in English. So it's a good idea to keep training your listening, keep training your brain. I strongly encourage you guys to start reading technical articles of your engineering field so you can start picking up technical terminologies. You can start picking up the standards that they use, the language that they use when they are referring to a particular technical problem or technical solution, because it will be very important when you are writing your reports. And that's why pretty much everything is in English in my website, but video number 1, video number 2, and video number 3, I also recorded those videos in Portuguese. So if you watch the video in Portuguese, so you understand the content, I then encourage you guys to watch the video in English, so you can compare. Okay, just conscious of time. I said it was going to be very brief. Do you guys have any particular question? You can.
I do have.
Yes, Anna?
I have been reading the booklet, and instead you need second documents to prove your experience.
Yep.
And of course, these documents, they have to be in English. I mean, you need to hold the original and the translation. But my question is, because I know it's a long list of documents, should I translate them all, or should I wait to them to ask me for these documents? What's your advice about it?
Yeah, you're probably talking about the RSEA, the Relevant Skilled Employment Assessment, so you can get more points in your migration process. I'm not really.
To be honest, I'm not looking for this because I already have rights to work in Australia. Is just to give more credibility to the employer.
Okay.
But I still have to prove my experience. So I think the pathway is the same, right? Or no?
Not quite. So, do you have a permanent residency already?
Not yet, but I can work full time.
Yeah, you got to be careful because there are two processes when you are there are two types of people that will do the validation process. One, which is the majority of people, they will do the MSA, Migration Skills Assessment, because this process will have a migration purpose. If you have already a permanent residency, for example, and you want to validate your qualification, obviously you don't need migration purposes, so you can do the stage 1 of membership eligibility. But having full working rights, it doesn't really mean that you will be able to get your permanent residency. We just need to be careful.
No, but
if you do membership eligibility,
I don't want to make because my visa leads to permanent residence. I wait a few months to apply for my PR. So it's
so you're not going to need
happening.
You're not going to need your skills assessment for your visa in the future.
Okay, good to know. But I'm just interested about these.
The secondary documents. You will see that the primary documents, your reference letter, and the secondary documents will be your, let's say, are you from Brazil?
Yeah.
So your secondary documents,
return, something like this.
Your secondary documents, you probably will need your social security statements, NSS, your superannuation, which is your FGTS, probably your tax return as well. Because what's the objective of the secondary documents? Is to have proof from a trusted source, and the trusted source in this case will be the government. So the government will issue you INSS statements, the government will issue you the FGTS statements, government will issue your tax return receipt or a copy of your tax return. So you will need those documents to support the reference letter, because the reference letter from your former employer will say that Anna worked as an engineer from this period, this day, month and year until this day, month and year. So let's say 2 years. And then the secondary document, but that is just a letter. Anyone can write a letter and sign the letter. And then you have to have the secondary document to support that letter. So your tax return will show that that company paid your salary in that period. Your ENSS or FGTS will also prove that that company made deposits, for example, for your FGTS in that period. So Engineers Australia will see, all right, she's got this experience from the letter, and the supporting documentation will be there. Certainly, you need to translate. You need to use an authorized translator. It doesn't need to be a NATI translator. It can be an authorized translator. A lot of people, they are not here in Australia, so they are still in their home country. They know people that translate there, but they need to be authorized. You got to have identification IDs, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But if you are here in Australia, probably.
You replied another question.
Yeah. All right.
Because most of my translation were made in Brazil. So that's all right. Since he's someone,
it is all right.
For registration.
As long as they have the stamp, if they have the stamp with the status, let's say translator accredited by the Brazilian whatever. There's an ID number and contact details. So as long as the authorized translator has those information in the translation, and obviously if you're sending, let's say, your tax return, you need to send the original, a copy of the original language in Portuguese, and also the translated document. So don't forget to include the original language as well. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
No, that's all right, Anna. Thanks for the question. Yeah, any other question there? Don't be shy. All right.
I have a question, please.
Hi, Lucas. Yeah, fire away.
I didn't listen to all the prior conversation, sorry, but I was wondering if I have to have a job already in Australia, like an engineering job proposal to go there and start working, or what would be the best strategy, you know what I mean? Like have a guaranteed job already or not necessarily?
Yeah, there are different, thanks for the question, Lucas. And I'm gathering that you are still in Brazil?
That's right.
Yeah. So, yeah, first of all, you don't need to have a job to come here as an engineer, or obviously you can come as an international student. You can come as a visitor. So all depends what's going to be your objective. But if you want to come as an engineer, and I know many friends that they applied for the validation process while they were in Brazil, and also they applied for the permanent visa when they were in Brazil. They got their permanent visa and they came to Australia. And even with the permanent visa, they came without a job, because obviously once you are a permanent resident, you can come to Australia anytime within the limits of the visa, obviously. But you don't need to have a secure job to come to Australia. If you are not a permanent resident, you can come to work here. Let's say that you come as an international student. As an international student, you can work up to 20 hours a week. Majority of the international students, master's degree, there's a different rule. I'm not quite sure because I'm not a migration agent. But then you can work 20 hours a week. In these 20 hours a week, you can look for an engineering job. Is it easy? It's not easy. When I started here, when I came back in 2005, I started as a cleaner. I had very good job in Brazil, but I started as a cleaner. I was cleaning 28 toilets per night. So, but nothing wrong with that. Later on, I got my job as an engineer, just working 20 hours a week. And then the company wanted me to work more. I said, no, I cannot because I'm international student. I can just work 20 hours. And then they sponsored me, so I could then work more than 20 hours a week. And I did my skilled assessment and I applied for my skilled visa, independent skilled visa. Everything by myself because at that time information was a little bit more difficult. But I strongly encourage you, Lucas, to talk with migration agents. As I mentioned before, contact Marcia Percival because she has very good content and she helps a lot of people that they want to migrate to Australia. They don't really have a lot of idea what needs to be done. Her content is one of the best ones for you to have a think about what are my possibilities and what's my plan. So it's always a good idea to have a good plan. We are all engineers, and we know that as an engineer, we know that the better you plan, the delivery or execution is going to be much easier. So same thing for the migration process. If you don't plan your migration, you're probably going to waste a lot of time. You're probably going to throw in the bin a lot of money because I've seen many people that they paid $30,000-$40,000 in a course that didn't really get to a permanent visa. And here in Australia, obviously, if you want to stay, you need to get a permanent visa. You cannot stay as a student forever. Because the Department of Immigration of Home Affairs, they will realize that you are using the student visa just to stay here in Australia, so you are not really a genuine student. Just for a reference, if you go to, I don't know if you guys know Fernando Gil. Fernando Gil he's also an engineer and he helps many engineers. I think he's working now for an education agency. And last night he did a live session and he interviewed one migration agent, Carlo Castriota. And that interview was in Portuguese. So is there anybody that doesn't speak Portuguese? Unfortunately, you won't really be understanding too much. But in this interview yesterday with Carlo Castriota, Carlo talked about all the different ways that you can migrate to Australia as an international student, as a skilled professional, as a partner, etc., etc., etc. So if you go to Fernando Gil Australia, I think that's his profile in Instagram. I believe that he recorded the live session and the live session will be available in his profile. Yeah, thank you very much.
Sorry,
yeah.
Can I continue asking?
Yeah, of course.
You certainly had a huge experience here in Brazil to attract so much attention from an Australian company and get their sponsor. What about people without experience, like as myself? Like I have like 2 to 3 years as an engineer. I don't have like much to offer, you know.
Yeah, thanks, Lucas, again for the question. And I'll probably have to disagree with you in a politely way. I do think that everybody has a lot to contribute to the company. And you're right. When I came to Australia, I graduated in '94. I came here in 2005, so I had already 10 years of experience. But the job that I got, and I got my sponsor, even though it was some sort of an engineer job, but I worked for a registered training organization, RTO, and I was delivering consulting services and training in business and project management. So it wasn't really an engineering job. I was using my engineering skills and knowledge to deliver the consultancy and training. But what the companies they like in a professional is the dedication, positive attitude, and obviously results. So it is a matter of, and some people, sometimes I think it was lucky. And I'll tell the story during the webinar how I got my first job here. But it's all about what you can provide to the company, even though you just had few years of experience. But I'm pretty sure that you can provide a lot of benefits to the company and companies. And I can tell you this because nowadays in the job that I am, I'm an operations manager in a construction company with 250 people. So $100 million revenue per year. So I can tell you, when we are doing a recruitment process, I just don't look at what the person has done. We do look the panel, we do discuss, and we do look of the potential that the person can bring to the company. And if you follow Marcia, you see that she talks about two types of skills: soft skills and hard skills. And I'm going to ask her to in the live Instagram on Thursday to talk about this. Hard skills are the technical skills, and soft skills are the person skills, the behavior skills, the attitude, etc. When you are recruiting now, obviously we do care about hard skills, technical knowledge, etc. But if the person doesn't have good positive attitude, if the person doesn't have good soft skills, it's much harder for us to train that person in soft skills. We can teach them a particular technical skill that he or she may not have. But how do I train people to have positive attitude? It can be trained, but it's much harder. So majority of companies nowadays, they are looking for this type of professional. They have good technical skills, but they can see that the person has very positive attitude. And why is that? Because the environment today is different. We've got many different things that the companies they are doing in terms of, diversity, inclusion, industrial relations. Industrial relations is about sindicatos, HR issues. All of those things, it needs positive attitude, initiative, innovation, that behavior that you can do. You're not just complaining that you cannot do this, you cannot do this, but you can come to your boss saying, I know that there are very difficulties, a lot of challenges. We cannot do this for many reasons, but I brought to you one reason that we can do. And that is the thing that companies now, they are valuing a lot. So if you go to a company And I'm pretty sure that especially us overseas professionals, when we get a job in our area, we feel very grateful because it's so hard to get a job in our area that when we get a job in our area, I'm pretty sure that we will work 100%, 200%, and we will demonstrate what we are capable to do. And these are the behaviors that companies will see. And I can tell you, managers and directors, they fairly switched on. They will see that you have a lot of value, a lot of potential. And if they like you, because you do a good job, you work well with the team, you have initiative, you bring innovation, customers, they like you, it's not going to be difficult for you to get a sponsor. But you need to do your bit. Validation is probably one thing that you need to do. Your English needs to be good. A company can like you, but if you have to deal with customers, if you have to deal with the public, for example, if your English is not good, they'll say, sorry, but we need somebody with a very good English because you're going to be the face of our company. So how do you improve English? Well, you need to study, you need to read, you need to watch English movies. You need to perhaps watch my live sessions, get your listening, and improve your English. But even without experience, you need to be proactive. You need to go after. If you just stay put, the job is not going to come to you. You need to apply for part-time jobs. You need to apply for temporary jobs. You need to apply for jobs that are suitable to you. If you can just work 20 hours a week, it's silly for you to apply for a full-time job because full-time means 40 hours a week. And you can just work 20 hours a week. So don't do that. Try to apply for part-time jobs. And now with COVID and everything else, flexible work arrangements, a lot of people now working part-time. And the companies now, they need the other half. So you can do this. But believe in yourself. You have lots to offer to the company. You may not have the engineering experience like I did, but you have your own potentials. And just you know what are your potentials. So, and these are the areas that you need to explore when you are working for a company.
Thank you.
Yeah, no worries, Lucas. Any other particular question?
Hi, Gerson. May I ask one?
Yes, of course, Fabio.
You just said that you need good English and stuff. I just started to improve my English, and I saw that I need to make a proof certification my English, IELTS, TOEFL, or PTE.
Yes.
Is there a minimum grade for? I'm willing to migrate for permanent visa.
Yeah.
For validate the diploma of engineering, I have to had a minimum grade for these certifications do. Or just for the permanent visa?
No, you do. Yeah. For it's a prerequisite. If you don't have your English test results reaching the minimum scores, of course, you're not going to be able to apply. Lots of my students, they already finished writing all the reports and everything else. They've got reference letters, all the documents, all translated, everything else, but they cannot apply because they couldn't get the minimum score in English. So it's not that difficult. IELTS, TOEFL, and PTE. I've done already TOEFL back in Brazil, and I've done IELTS here in Australia. I haven't done PTE because it wasn't there when I did it. But the English test is like, when you're in Brazil, I don't know if you did a cursinho or not, but there are tricks. So you need to learn how to do the test. It's not just learning English. You need to learn English, but you also need to learn how to do the test. If you haven't done the test and then you do the test straight away, you're probably not going to go very well because you're going to get stuck in one part. You're probably not going to understand very well what you need to do. You will lose time, and time in a test is very critical. When I did my IELTS back in 2005, unfortunately, there was no online help, etc., etc. But I managed to get a cassette tape, those cassette tapes. The company car had a radio with a cassette tape, very old, yeah. And I was driving, going to my clients and traveling around, and I was listening to that cassette tape all the time. And the cassette tape was telling me some of the tricks that I needed to do my IELTS. So nowadays, obviously, there are many people that are helping people. If you want to do PTE, I strongly encourage you to talk to Bernardo. He's very good. He's got many tricks for you to get your PTE result. But you need to, obviously, if you don't know anything of English, obviously you're not going to get your minimum score. But if you can understand what I'm saying, if you watch my videos and you can understand, your English is probably already good enough for you to do the test and get your minimum score. If you did and you couldn't get it, it's because probably you still need to improve the knowledge of the test. It's probably not your English level, but is the knowledge of the test. Which questions do I do first? How do I answer this? Do I need to repeat the word or not? So all of those things that you need to think about. Am I comfortable talking to a person, or am I comfortable to talk to a machine? So there's this, because IELTS, I think the speaking still with a person, but then PTE is all with computer. So every person is different, and you need to see what style of English test is going to suit better your style. So I believe that there are many probably online tests from PTE or TOEFL or IELTS that you can do, so you can kind of see which one is better for you. But yeah, you probably will need to learn better how you do the test. But without the test certificate, you will not be able to apply for your validation. You will need a minimum score.
Okay, I understand. Thank you very much.
Yeah, no worry, Fabio. All right, guys. Well, we almost 55 minutes. Yeah, thank you very much for your interest. But yeah, I think we'll come to a close.
Hello.
Hi, Luis. How are you?
I'm very good. You?
Good.
Hello, guys.
Have you got fresh kombucha or not?
No, I have to prepare now. I'm gonna prepare a huge batch now.
All right. Okay. Yeah, glad to see you again. Yeah.
Do I have time to make one question quickly?
Yes.
Because yes, to overcome the English requirement, that's okay for me now. Last week I got my English that I'm gonna use to apply not only for my next visa, that will be the 485, but also I want to use this English to apply to recognize my English, my engineer. So, but to overcome now this challenge, okay, but my other challenge is the lack of experience that I can prove. So, is that possible, or because I know that they require 3 years of experience?
Yeah, I'm not quite sure about some of the visa requirements. In terms of validation,
Yeah.
you don't need any experience. Yeah, Engineers Australia is probably the only assessing entity that does not require any work experience to validate your qualification. So many fresh graduates, they just graduated from uni, they can and they have already validated their qualification just by using the university engineering experience. Yeah.
No, that's fine. No, that's good. Thank you for answering my question.
No, that's all right, Liz. Yeah. All right. So yeah, well, I think everything worked, and I've got some adjustments to make, but hopefully we'll see you guys on Sunday, 10 a.m. in the live webinar. And to access the webinar is going to be like this. We'll start a session in this Telegram group, and then you just need to join the call. You will be able to turn on your camera if you want to. And 15 minutes before the session, I will send an email just to remind you guys. Tomorrow, I think I'm sending an email in the morning to remind, and then a final reminder 15 minutes before the webinar starts. So how am I going to give the 15 minutes of free consulting? I was almost forgetting that. Do you have your mobile with you?
Yes.
Yes. So if you go to my Instagram, you'll see that my last post is this one. So you guys, the ones heroes, stayed until the end, so you will have the chance. So if you go to my last Instagram post, if you don't follow me, my Instagram is just Gerson Ida. You will find me there. So this is my last post. I posted yesterday. So what you need to do, just need to like the post and write in the comments, I will become an engineer in Australia. And then what I'm going to do, while you do that, I will open the site to do the draw. And those ones that make the comment, I will do the draw.
Sorry, you said the last comment, the last post
Yeah, last
on
post
Instagram.
that has this photo here.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I have to write, I want to become.
No, I will. I will become an engineer in Australia.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the positive statement is very important because it conditions your brain that you will. I know that you all want, but unfortunately, not everybody will. But I'm pretty sure that if you start conditioning your brain, you will become an engineer in Australia. So just go to the last post that says the 15 minutes free consulting draw, and put in the post and write in the comments, I will become an engineer in Australia. And I'm just going to wait a little bit more so you guys can write. I just need to, where is that? Just need to open my Instagram here. Yeah, I'll give you another minute or so. So just go to the post, like, and write. I will become an engineer in Australia. And well, I'll set up the draw here. It's just thinking. Just need to update. All right, so I will just a second. All right, it's loading the comments. I will share that screen so you guys can see that. It's taking a while to load. So any of you in Australia, apart from Luis, that I know that he is here?
What did you ask?
Are you guys here in Australia or still in your home country?
Yeah, I'm in Sydney.
Sydney? Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Yeah, Luis in Brisbane. Oh, why?
To share. Yeah.
Yeah. Still, what's happening? It's taking a while. Why is taking so long? Hmm. And have you guys already started the writing of your reports? How far are you guys in the process? Wow, it's loading.
Yeah, I have all documentation. I have my PT exam result, but I'm still struggling. I'm still working on my career.
Yeah.
Yeah, because my experience are from maybe almost 10 years ago, so it's hard to remember everything. I'm reading some old reports, trying to remember, and you have to write in English, so it doesn't make anything easier.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, and I'll talk about this on Sunday, how you can kind of speed things up, and yeah, because yeah, writing 1,000 words or 2,500 words is sometimes a bit difficult, especially if you don't
Yeah.
really like to write. But there are some techniques that that you can use to help your writing. Yeah. I don't know what's happening here.
All right.
Yeah.
Jason, uh,
Yes, please.
I know that you're going to talk about like plagiarism, but I finished now my master, and during this course, I had to make a lot of like reflective assessments that I had to talk about my previous employment, talk about my soft and hard skills, what I need to improve,
Yep.
and for example, obviously, when I start to write those reports, I will have to write something similar, like what I have written in these reports. So will they consider it like plagiarism or not?
No. Yeah, plagiarism is when you are using somebody else's work as being your work. So
Yeah, but in the university they said, oh, if I did a report and I use my report again to write a new assessment, they used to consider it as a plagiarism. So
yeah, but that's
I know that,
yeah, but that's different.
they are
'cause,
very strict with this.
yeah, but that's different because if you use your report of one subject to do an assessment of another subject, yeah, then it's different. But with the validation process, you are demonstrating the things that you did. So everything that the career episode, and I'll tell my students, career episodes, they are a narrative of the past. So it's something that you did. So you cannot write something new in your career episodes because competencies is something that you learned and the learning that you applied. So you will have to repeat things that you did. So yeah, but at uni, if you use a subject, the work of a subject to do another one, yeah, that's a bit suspicious. Yeah. All right. So
No, that's fine.
yeah, we got that on there. So fingers crossed. We'll see who's the winner. Drum. Yeah, Vando. Congratulations. So are you there?
Yes.
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, good.
Nice.
Vando. Yeah, congratulations. So we will
Thank you.
in 2 weeks' time. In 2 weeks' time, we will do. Where is that? Just a second. Yeah, in 2 weeks' time, not next week, but the week after, either Tuesday or Thursday, we will do our live session on Instagram, and then I'll invite you to join me. But the other ones, don't be so upset. This or next Thursday, during the live session with Marcia, I will do another draw, and somebody else can have the chance to get a 15 minutes of free consulting as well in 2 weeks' time. All right.
All right.
Yeah, thank you very much, guys, and I hope to see you all on Sunday during the opening webinar. Thank you very much, and I'll see you then.
Thank you, Jason.
you.
See ya.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye bye.